Alright, so this is Space Invaders. Let's see if I can not mangle this too badly. Space Invaders Fukkatsu no Hai, or Space Invaders Plus, as they clearly make it named in English in the game in several places. It includes both the original game and on the left, and over here on the right, it's got the Plus mode. I did not realize this when I first played it. I did not pay any attention to any of the symbology down here, and I just hit run. So I just thought it was just a direct port of the old arcade game. I'll show you. Which is done almost identical to the Famicom version. Like I could not tell you the difference between the two games in a lineup. I think they actually look identical, which is pretty similar to the original Space Invaders arcade game. Um, hang on, I gotta turn this up a notch. I think it's probably okay in the stream. I'm not sure though. Judging by the bar, it's a little low. I might crank this one up a little. We'll see when we start the real game. But yeah, basically, if you had the arcade game, you had the colored strip overlay instead of the fancy Space Invaders Deluxe background. This is what it looked like, more or less, except for, on a widescreen and a slightly higher resolution, probably. With maybe more screen tearing. Oh shit. I'm bad at Space Invaders. I should point that out to you. I'm pretty bad at these games. Don't. Oh, Jesus H. You can get a pretty rough start here, huh? If the game decides to fuck you, you're kinda fucked. I do think that this colored striping helps with the playability, though. You know how low they are. Having a background helps, too, to some extent, like, because you have some frame of reference. Damn it. Yeah, I'm pretty terrible at Space Invaders. This is going to be rough. I will say the advanced version handles so much better. It has a cool intro, too. They really used a lot of 3D wireframe graphics in this. Interesting. You think this needs to be just a little louder, maybe? That seems a little more on the money, right? Okay. So we got some background graphics, smoother control, real standard stuff. Oh, shit balls. I already got hit once. You get a couple of shields, so you can take a couple of hits, but you don't get extra lives. It's really just like continue from where you go with 2 lives. Or 3 lives, probably. I'm sure it'll drop from shield 1 to shield 0, and then the next hit after that will kill me. So we'll power up. Yeet. Use the other button to do that. Shit. This kind of looks like the Space Invaders Deluxe background. And that's it. That's all you get. That's all she wrote. You can continue, and it resets your score. I'm mostly playing for score, but I don't know that I'll be able to break the 10,000 limit because that's a very high number to me. Oh yeah, so I didn't know about this game, and it sort of jumped out to me. So like, I only had fired up the ROM to test it, thought it was a straight port of the arcade game, and possibly just a dump of the Famicom game onto the PC Engine, which is totally possible because they're the same CPUs. It's pretty easy to do little conversions like that, and it very well might be. But I didn't know that the other mode existed. I didn't select the other option ever. And then I saw, it was a World of Long Plays did a video on this recently, I think. And I was like, holy shit, there's an enhanced Space Invaders. So then I fired up the ROM again and figured it out. I was like, oh god, I'm a dumbass. Ah, shit. No matter how good I'm doing. This isn't like invincibility, right? Is this different? It's like taking me to an entirely different level. I wonder why. It depends on how you're doing or something, I guess. Okay, these work in a strange way, so I've got a slightly different issue there. There we go. That's pretty awesome. Shit. Not awesome enough, though. This one works a little different, but it's just as awesome nonetheless. Alright, this is the normal levels. What the hell happened that one time? We got some sort of warp zone or something? There we go. That was getting a little scary. Okay, that was a little interesting. Okay, come on, come on. Time stop, excellent. Beautiful. Oh wow. Oh, this is quite the trip right here. Beautiful. That's hard as shit. Somebody just set a new high score, new high score, new high score. Damn it. Well, at least I got a high score. Gotta say, at least I got a fucking high score. Yeah. Yeah. So part of this was to contrast and compare this PC Engine game with the Sega Genesis Mega Drive game. Space Invaders 90 on the Mega Drive, or Space Invaders 91 on the Genesis, as I knew it here in the US. It's a game I used to rent occasionally in the year of 1991. Rented it 2 or 3 times. Kind of liked it. Didn't think it was the greatest thing in the world, but it was something I knew would be solid. You know, it'd keep me solidly entertained over the weekend. It was a good game. Solid. So I wanted to see if this one was better or worse. I think, and I'm not like totally sure on this, I think it's better though. Like just, we'll see, you know, putting them right side by side. But my feeling, first of all, the Genesis one's slightly letterboxed, and that's one thing I always remember about it. So it's not even quite full screen. Kind of gives it a wider gameplay field though, so it works out all right. It feels good on the Genesis and has good animation like this, but I don't think it has all these extra weapons. I don't know if it has like alternate paths depending on performance or whatever. I'm not quite sure what's affecting that in this game. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're both good. I think this one just might be better. I also intend to play the PC Engine version of Xevious at some point. It's really good. It's got all sorts of cool enhancements. Basically, you've got this excellent port of the arcade game, and then in addition to that, you get a like a remixed version of the arcade game that makes it more of a traditional linear shooter. I think it puts in power-ups and stuff too. So it makes it a little more modern, I guess, but both ways of playing it are fun. It's Xevious, you know, it's classic too. So PC Engine had every sort of shooter, from very classic to very new and modern, and it's absolutely the console to have if you're into the genre. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute and we'll play some more Space Invaders Plus. It's too bad nobody at Taito built on these demo graphics and made a wireframe 3D shooter for the PC Engine. That could have been something truly interesting. Space Invaders is kind of a great game to just zone out on. It's kind of relaxing to try and clear everything out. Relaxing up until your inevitable and frustrating death, or until there's very little left on the screen. Two things that often coincide. And I am going to do a second Space Invaders stream at some point. I'm just going to put it off for a while. But I want to do one for the Game Boy games too. So specifically the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance game, which are both interesting. It's not going well. The regular Game Boy version is just a straight port of the arcade game, like the port that's included here, except for in black and white. The Wonder Swan port is identical, except for it has a little sidebar to use the extra screen width to show your score. So I'm skipping those. Those are boring. But the Game Boy Color game is very interesting. There's different ships to choose from. Same thing with the Game Boy Advance game. And it's also different from the Game Boy Color game. They have like different ships and like different abilities. I think at least one of them offers you the ability to shoot sideways for invaders who hit your level. And we're skipping to this level again. It's so strange. Interesting. Also, the music here is a little weak. It's certainly not as good as like what they do in their, Darius games and stuff. So, yeah. Oh shit. Son of a bitch. Some weird weapons there, huh? Different stuff that time. Neat. I did terrible. Looks like I'm doing quite a bit worse each time. That's cool. Wonder why. I needed that so bad. God damn it. Damn, that started to get scary. Nice. Oh, cool. Shit. I think that's the furthest I made it level-wise, but not my high score. That's the shield? Hell yeah. Oh, cool! I got nothing for it too. I love when I take a risk, get hit, and get nothing for it. The best. God damn it! Made some poor strategic decisions there at the end. God damn it! Just 1 second here. here we go. You have to give it just the right amount of lead. It's pretty tricky. That's a fucking real bitch. That's a real slimy shit right there. This music doesn't scream Space Invaders to me at all. Oh hell yeah, this is awesome. Just shy of my high score, just shy, 600 points shy, in fact. I'm starting to understand Space Invaders strategy better, like the whole trimming the width before it hits the side of the screen thing that you gotta do. Maximum efficiency, that is. I lost some efficiency by hitting that guy on the higher level first. That's alright. There should be an end way of payout based on how high you destroyed the last enemy, but I don't think it makes any difference. Fucking shit, man. Okay. Now. Is that a recovery again? Are you shitting me? Holy shit. That's amazing. That's super awesome, actually. Okay. Shit. shit. God damn it. Bump me up to 5 and let me see the background again, please. Thank you, please. Black hole background, nice. Or some sort of eclipse is more likely, I don't know. Holy shit, come on, man. That's a little unfair, isn't it? How the fuck am I supposed to work in these conditions? Just barely. You lose. I racked up 9 fucking shields, managed to beat my high score by like 500 points. What? I'll do this one more time. Wrong weapon. Wrong. I expected the wrong thing there, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. I was expecting a very different performance with the homing shot. this genius? Is this how you're supposed to do it? Gotta get better on my timing on that. Hey, this is a different background, right? Might be something new. Shit, I fucked that up. That 2 and 2, firing the beam and not paying attention to where I am. Alright. I'm gonna save the game and switch the ROM. not seeing the box art, which is just flat out insane, like to a degree that I refuse to believe. I gonna do some little bit of exploration on this computer here real quick because that defies sanity and logic. Since I remember, like literally remember, just doing this just now. I literally just did this. So this is fucked. This is beyond fucked. Okay, I mean, it's not going to take long to find the art or whatever, but I want to find it on my computer. Like, I refuse to believe that it's not on here. It's just, it is, because I saved it and I remember doing it. And I don't know what the fuck they're bullshitting me about here. I even had a little bit of a hard time finding one I liked. SMD Space Invaders. Holy fuck. Oh, man. So it's what, like the first one on the list? Yes, of course. All right. Good. Now I don't have to throw this computer out of the window or question my own sanity, because this box art is actually here. All right, and I'll be right back, and we'll play some Space Invaders 91 on the Sega Genesis. This should be the more advanced, more badass Space Invaders, right? Yeah. It's fun, though. It's cool. It's a good game. I'll be back in a little while. Alright, I am back. Space Invaders 91. Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. Watching the demo on this, I actually think it's very, very similar to what we just played. I may have been wrong about some stuff. The power-ups and the sideways shots and everything. It does a lot of the stuff the same way. It's been a long time since I played these. Well, this specifically, I've never played that PC instrument until now. I was able to put up a high score right away, so it's at least a little bit more achievable, easily achievable than the PC Engine game, which is rough. Really rough. Shit, I just barely saw one though. Not seeing a huge difference in the scores, are we? Oh, you fucking dicks. Already. Oh man, it's just brutal. It's just, oh man, it's a lot brutal. I almost lost all my life on the first level. My god. This is going so much worse than last time. Even the space within this one is just like, yeah, that might happen every once in a while. You're real lucky or super good. You might get to see that happen. I like the music in this game better, and it seems more appropriate. At least, I mean, it's not as spacey as something I would go with, which is something that they do in the Darius games, but not for this, I guess. But as far as like a heroic shooter sound, I mean, it's good. It's not the weird platformer-y sounding fucking folksy shit that they had in the other game. Fascinating. Familiar item now. Not invincibility. Important to know that. If it comes in from the side, you can still be screwed. So yeah, on the on the PC Engine, when you shoot the enemies, they kind of go up and then blow up, and it has a satisfying feel to it that's missing here. But otherwise, this is a better version of the same thing, and they're both great. I'd recommend either one, depending on whatever's easier for you to play on. This one doesn't have as fancy of a presentation in terms of weird wireframe 3D shit and whatever else they were doing. But the music's better. The backgrounds are about as good either way, which is to say they could be better and more colorful on both systems. They really could have done more there. But it's alright. I do think that as far as visual enhancement goes, it definitely falls short of Galaga 88. Really, like in every way, it kind of does, but like, that's probably my general preference for Galaga showing. And also, you can't do too much to Space Invaders without it just turning into Galaga or Galaxian. I mean, an enhanced version of Space Invaders really is just glass. Is it not? If you want the ships to do more than just move back and forth. So I think that they do a good job in this in keeping with the original theme, and they seem to have had a specific vision of what they wanted to do for Space Invaders at this time, which did not involve shields on the ground, which is interesting. Interesting. Is that bad? No, it locks me in? That's not good. I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that. Oh. Super speed, huh? Oh shit, doesn't matter if you're gonna still get shot. New high score though. Good place to take a break. Be right back in just a second. Almost wondering if I should use the arcade stick for this. I used to bust out the old Mega Fire stick for this game, I believe. It's weird, they give you more health in this game, and in the PC Engine one, they might randomly give you more health, even more health. So you never know. You never know it's going to go down. This one does seem a bit more predictable, and it probably would be considered better as a shooter by a lot of people for that reason. The PC Engine one there's a lot of randomness going on. It's so much easier to hit these fucking ships, though. The ones that the motherships. They're like insanely hard to hit them. I just did fucking terrible. The motherships are very, very hard to hit on this version. They're not hard at all to hit on the PC Engine game. So getting power-ups is really tricky here. But overall, I've gotten a higher score here, so I don't know how the scoring compares, but they both have a default score of 10,000. I really do like both games. I'd probably rate them about the same. If I had to choose which one is better, I'd probably say this one. And on a rating, I'd probably give them both an 8 out of 10. Also, is this a dad game? It's kind of a dad game. Dad probably wanted to play some Space Invaders, and if he wanted it on one of these consoles, this is the one he's getting, right? The PC Engine one even more so, because it's got the original in there too, in case this is too new for Dad. And that's the thing too, the newest to appeal to probably new players as well, you know. I think it kind of succeed on that level. And in most ways I see it as being a big success, kind of in the same way as Galaga 88, or Galaga 90 as they call it here in the US. That game I would rate a 9 out of 10. That game's fantastic. PC Engine port's perfect. I mean, it's actually not. The graphics take a hit and stuff, and it's in a slightly different screen format. But it's still really, really good. Good enough to where you shouldn't care. Trying to be a little smarter here and just work from this side alone and see how it goes. I think this is probably smarter and better. It might make it easier to get these motherships too. Try and get some power going. Oh, okay, wow, okay. Yeesh. Yeesh. Maybe that's not the strategy. I don't know. Let's work on it. Let's toy with that a little bit. See how it's a little bit letterbox though? It's not really using the full verticality of your Genesis display. Oops. This weapon has messed me up a few times, more than a few times, thinking about the offense instead of the defense aspect of it. That's not good. You got to get some of the lowest stuff on that one. You can't just work the side because it's already hanging too low. So I think probably I'm going to switch completely to like a back and forth clearing strategy and then start working the side. Like after I get like 2 rows off or something. Gonna have to work around on that a little bit. This does require a bit of a strategy. It is fastest if you just go to the left right away, but I also felt suffocated, so I think I'm gonna go to the right. I don't know why that is, but maybe it's just because, yeah, it gives you a little more space to work with in the beginning here. I actually can't blame the weapon that time, or it's just the situation was real bad. Did they ever give you any fucking health back in this version, though? That's the real question. I shot it, but it didn't make any difference. It just changed its color. Take more than one hit. That's wild if it does. Shit. I knew I was cornered. Yeah, I think this does run in the 320 by 240 mode, but only uses like 320 by 200 of the visuals or something. Weird. And to increase the performance for Space Invaders. Maybe there's some design reason that I thought that screen format was better. Every time that blessing would become a curse. Uses the digital tracks for drums like a lot of games do, including the beloved Streets of Rage. It's interesting all the little differences here. Like, there's some technical ways that I feel like the PC Engine games are better. On HuCard, it doesn't seem to have the little bits of load time that this one, which is not uncommon on Genesis games, but this one does seem to have a little bit of loading between areas and stuff. The animation's better in this game, and color cycling helps with that a little bit, but I think it's just generally better too, except for the death animation on all of the ships on the enemies, which is actually pretty important. It's better on the PC Engine. Like I said, it makes it feel sort of more satisfying to wipe out because of the way they did it. And also, from a technical perspective, music could go either way, but it definitely is composed better here on the Genesis. I don't like this title screen song because of some of the harsh sounds in it, but the in-game music is pretty good. The PC Engine music is technically fine, just sounds completely out of place for the game that it is. Also, speaking of technical, like the PC Engine should have much more colorful backgrounds than this, but it doesn't. They're not very colorful on either, so it doesn't really matter. Again, the winner there is Galaga 88 on PC Engine. But yeah, this is still pretty cool. The enemy ships look cool and are well animated on this one. The length of your game is more predictable on this one due to the having 5 health and not getting health recoveries, as opposed to having 3 health and getting health recoveries, but up to a maximum of 10. And they're completely random. Alright. S-Crusher came in clutch that time. I think they take it away from me though, don't they? Oh yes. But of course. So I saw that Stop Killing Games initiative passed. I need to read more about that. I don't really fully understand it. Maybe I'm just too American in the way I think of law or something from a contract and business perspective, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. Because it seems like you're telling people that, hey, if you make this type of product, you have to make it this way, or else it's like illegal to make it another way. Like, well, what are you doing there? Like, I understand wanting your games to last forever. That'd be super cool. But I also know what a PlayStation 4 and 5 is, and I know what an Xbox One and Series is. I know what those are, and I know how the games work. I sit here and I think about this when I play Diablo 4, which I've been playing a lot lately. I don't know that there is a way to preserve Diablo 4. It's completely amorphous in what it is. Like Diablo 3, you could kind of like take any of its post-season state and like maybe randomize that set of post-season content or whatever. But Diablo 4 has so much more content per season, and it's completely different every season. It's just like, what point would you freeze that and say this is your offline Diablo 4 that you get to keep? And that seems to add a tremendous amount to development and stuff. You know what's going to happen if you made it like a legal requirement to do that, right? They're just not going to make Diablo 4. Like, they're just not going to make that game. And I know some of you guys are cheering because, oh, that game fucking sucks and blah, blah, blah. And I fucking hate Diablo 4 and I hate Destiny 2 and I hate online service games. But not everybody does. I know a lot of people who really like them. I like them sometimes in some ways. I mean, I just think it's more important that you understand what you're spending money on and that you're not necessarily going to get to keep the Crew Motorfest forever. It's just not going to happen. Like, I don't know. Like, legally, it seems like an impossible thing to ask for. But maybe, again, maybe I'm just too American in my understanding here. But yeah, once you say that a developer can't publish games with content in a certain way, they're just not gonna. They're either gonna find a loophole to say, oh, this game has a required online component because it's so important to the core experience, or whatever wording you use. They're just gonna find a way to utilize it and say that that's what it is. Because it's the easiest way for them to control and maintain their game in a way that sells you shit, which is what they're actually trying to do, is sell you things and make money. Either that or they're just, if it's like, no, you have to develop an offline single player component, they're going to either make that some stupid ass tutorial or whatever the minimal thing they have to do is, or if it costs them more money than that, than something that they can have an intern crap out, then they're just not going to make those kind of games, and people are going to miss out on those kinds of experiences. This seems silly to me. I'm not trying to support this pirate software guy. I don't even know what his perspective is on this. I know everybody hates him, and I know everybody's like in the gaming community is very pro this stop killing games thing, but I literally don't understand it. So maybe if somebody could explain it better to me, I would get it. I would get how it's supposed to work. It seems like you're trying to ask for two things together that you're not going to get to ever get together, which is the GTA 6 level of like modern game, going all in on the budget, making the coolest looking, craziest experience you can possibly have right now. But also you want it to be like on a cartridge that you can keep forever and can just play anytime you want, no matter what, forever. And you're not going to get both of those things together. Those two things are just not going to exist in the same world. Because for one thing, they have to sell you a bunch of add-on shit to fund that experience to make it worth them making in the first place. And the games you own are going to be like old games. And the games you play now are services. They're not products. Yeah, if you want to preserve those, you're going to end up depending a lot on the pirate community, because unless there was so much desire for it that they could make money off of it, you know what I mean, by having that service running. But there's just not going to be. There's not going to be. You guys don't fucking play old games for the most part. You just don't. That's the other thing too. It's like you want these brand new games to be preserved forever, but like 99% of people who are most stoked about brand new games are people who don't play old games at all, at all. Like even more than a few months old sometimes. Something from last year. That's a classic. Let me tell you another story of how that wreaks havoc, too. Let me tell you about a little system called the PlayStation 3. Man, PlayStation owners went online and they pissed and bitched and moaned, and it's got to play PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1. It's got to have backwards compatibility about it. And, the PS2 had backwards compatibility because they put a PS1 in it. Because they had basically gotten that down to a one-chip solution that they had a secondary purpose to use in the PS2. As like an I/O controller or something. But yeah, so like I think that Sony were pressured by vocal online people wanting backwards compatibility to put the PlayStation 2 support into the PS3. But there's a bunch of problems with that. PS3 is not a powerful enough machine to emulate a PS2. The PS4 is sometimes not, you know what I mean? Like it's pushing it. So the PS3, not going to happen. I'm not going to do it in software emulation. I'm going to do PS1 in software emulation, but not PS2. So they put a fucking PS2 inside of a PS3. So your choices were you could buy an Xbox for like $400. You could go to a store, you could still buy a PlayStation 2 for like $200. Or you could buy a PS3 for $600 because you're buying the Xbox 360 for $400, and then you're buying a $200 PlayStation 2 and shoving it in there. Right now, it's a $600 machine without the option to get the PS2. And I saw the $600 price tag. I can't fucking afford that. That's in 2006, 2007 dollars. That's crazy, right? It'd be like if they asked for like $900 for a machine now or something. It's like completely unreasonable. And I think a lot of people felt the same way, and they just got on board the Xbox because of that. And it was the only time I stepped away from Sony. So, no, it was a terrible decision. Most of those people who bitched about that shit weren't even playing PS2 games, and they certainly weren't within a few months of, like the PS3's library building up. It was just the dumbest, just the dumbest mistake that Sony's ever made, probably, and since they started with the PS1. listening to idiots online who think they know what they want. Now, highly desirable for people who really are really into PS2. It's the best way to play a PS2 on an HD source. Best way to get HDMI output from the PS2. Everything. Really good way to play PS2. And now those machines are even more crazy expensive because eventually they dropped it. They said, fuck it. And what was cool is they kept the PS1 support. They just, did a software emulator for it because you literally can't tell the difference because it's PS1. Oops. Shit. That carried over between waves, which is really shocking and something I'm completely surprised by. Shit. Okay, so here's one thing I've been doing wrong. The item S Crusher, super useful. Blow away enemies with it. Get hit every time I use it. I'm using it frantically when I get it because I thought it was time-based. It's not time-based, it's ammo-based. I should be a lot more careful once I get it and actually make the shots count. And just maybe play closer to normal, I dare say. Now that I know what that thing is, the H laser, ooh, you betcha I can put it to good use. Gonna take out a large horizontal line. Fuck! I have a feeling this is a game that I'm gonna end up playing on my handheld a lot. This seems like a really good one for some handheld gaming. So if you got a Sega Nomad, or like me, just any normal, emulator handheld, this is a good one. I use a Miu Mini Plus, if anyone cares. Damn it, even when I try, I somehow manage to magnetize myself to getting hit when I have this fucking weapon. Holy shit, that is a huge bonus for destroying that thing. 7,000 points. That's where the bulk of my scores come from now. And I will be setting a high score this round because of it. God, let's see if we can do it again. That'd be amazing. Didn't come out that time. Amazing. shit. Ah, shit. New high score, though. That's awesome. One moment. Un momento. Alright, here we go. Some more Space Invaders 91. Just got a new high score. Gonna play a couple more rounds, 2 or 3 more rounds here. Let's say 3 more, and then I gotta take care of my dogs. Yeah, I'm having more fun with this game than I expected, and I like it more than I did when I was a kid. Maybe now I'm more age appropriate for dad games. $5,000 bonus points that time. Holy shit. Oh, no. Oh, oh, gee, oh, Jesus, fucking, oh, fuck. They just wanted to get rid of me. Like, bam, 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 bam. Every time I tried to move, I should have just pulled out, like, waited, been like, alright, you guys were obviously in some sort of hyped up super attack mode. Wait until that shit chills out, and then I'll come back. Would have been much better strategy, but that's not what I did. I'm working from this side this time. The way things turned out. Alright, we got a seriously low one here I gotta do something about. Okay, that's good. We're back in the game. We're good. Got some issues here. More than one. More than one problem right now. Massive score off of that, so that's great. Did what I could. Did what I fucking could. And that was a really close attempt there. I should have just used it on the first two rows and been smart, instead of being maybe some sort of scoring trick to hit the higher row, which is kind of what I was trying to do. I'm sure you get a lot more points for wiping out the higher rows, but they're going to get wiped out eventually anyway. And the bottom rows represent an existential threat, as you just saw. So, don't do what I did. Be smart. See, there's actually stuff to learn strategy-wise about this game as you play it. It's really one of those things that, like, there's way more to it than it just looks like. $50 points, thanks. That's awesome. I can't believe I fucking took damage off of a shot that was frozen on the ground that I didn't see. Holy shit. They really want to screw me over here. Damn, let's do one more. Just one final round here of Space Invaders 91, which I definitely ended up putting more time into than Space Invaders Plus on the PC Engine, but that's a good game too, don't get me wrong. I really stayed just about as entertained with that. You gotta love it. All those shots, but none of them could quite find their way to where that guy was, huh? What? Alright, we'll leave it there. Anyway, that's Space Invaders 91 on the Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive. And before that was Space Invaders Fukkatsu no Hai, also Space Invaders Plus, as that mode is referred to. on the PC Engine. Great games. Cool, enhanced versions of the classic Space Invaders games that I thought were a lot of fun. So I could probably play Space Invaders 91 for quite a while and have a really good time with it. It's a fun game to challenge for a score. Anyway, yeah, that's